Have you ever been on a long, lonely road trip? The kind where the miles blur together and your eyelids feel like they're weighted down with lead? You see a figure on the side of the road, thumb outstretched. A fleeting thought crosses your mind. My mother told me never to do this. In 1986, a film took that fleeting thought and twisted it into a full-blown 97-minute nightmare. A relentless, pulse-pounding thriller that, despite a lukewarm reception at the box office, would carve its own bloody path into the annals of cult cinema. Today, we're talking about The Hitcher. The premise of The Hitcher is deceptively simple. A young man named Jim Halsey, played by C. Thomas Howell, is delivering a car from Chicago to San Diego. To break the monotony of the drive, he picks up a mysterious hitchhiker who calls himself John Ryder.
What do you want?
I want you to stop me.
And with the 5 chilling words, "I want you to stop me," Jim's cross-country drive becomes a desperate struggle for survival. John Ryder is not your average hitchhiker. He's a remorseless, seemingly omnipresent killer. He toys with Jim, framing him for his own horrific crimes and turning the vast, empty landscapes of West Texas into a claustrophobic playground of terror. The film, directed by Robert Harmon and penned by Eric Red, is a masterclass in tension. Red was reportedly inspired by the Doors' song Riders on the Storm and his own unnerving experience picking up a hitchhiker. This personal anxiety bleeds onto the screen, creating a palpable sense of dread that never lets up. What makes The Hitcher so effective is its relentless, almost dreamlike logic. John Ryder appears and disappears like a phantom, his motives as vast and empty as the desert itself. He's less of a character and more of a force of nature, a personification of pure, unadulterated evil. In fact, when the police finally apprehend him, they can find no record of his existence. Rutger Hauer's performance as Ryder is nothing short of iconic. He brings a terrifyingly calm and detached demeanor to the role, making the character's violent outbursts all the more shocking. C. Thomas Howell, in a move to heighten the on-screen tension, has said he found Hauer genuinely frightening and intimidating on set, almost as if he truly was John Ryder. But when The Hitcher was released, it was met with a tepid critical and commercial response, grossing only $5.8 million on a $7.9 million budget. Critics were divided, with some praising its suspense and others condemning its violence and what they saw as a corrupt and diseased narrative. Famed critic Roger Ebert gave it a thumbs down, calling it reprehensible. However, like a ghost on the highway, The Hitcher refused to disappear. Through word of mouth and the rise of home video, the film found its audience and its status as a cult classic was solidified. Fans and critics began to reevaluate the film, recognizing its masterful suspense, stunning stunt work, and the deeper thematic layers lurking beneath its violent surface. One of the most debated aspects of the film is the relationship between Jim and Ryder. Many have pointed to a strong homoerotic subtext, with Ryder's torment of Jim feeling like a twisted, violent courtship. The film is filled with moments that fuel this interpretation, from Ryder's intimate gestures to his systematic elimination of anyone who gets close to Jim, most notably the waitress Nash, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh. And let's talk about that scene. The death of Nash is one of the most harrowing and unforgettable moments in 80s horror cinema, made all the more effective by what is not shown on screen. It's a brutal turning point in the film, pushing Jim further into the darkness that Ryder seems to want him to embrace. Beyond the subtext, The Hitcher can be seen as a dark coming-of-age story. Jim starts as a naive young man and is forced to confront the harsh realities of a violent world. Ryder acts as a cruel, sadistic mentor, pushing Jim to his absolute limits to see if he has what it takes to survive. Some interpretations even suggest a Freudian doppelganger theme, where Jim must metaphorically kill his father figure, Ryder, to become his own man. The explosive finale sees Jim finally turn the tables on his tormentor. But there's no sense of triumph, no heroic victory. Just a young, irrevocably changed man left to contemplate the darkness he was forced to embrace. The Hitcher is a film that gets under your skin and stays there. It's a relentless, nihilistic masterpiece that still packs a punch today. It's a stark reminder that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we willingly let into our lives. So the next time you are on a lonely stretch of highway and you see a stranger in need, you might just want to keep on driving. What are your thoughts on The Hitcher? Is it a misunderstood masterpiece or a schlocky 80s thriller? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite cult classics.